my commitment, then what the hell was I doing? I deleted everything 3 months into dating her, thought we were building something real. Apparently, I was just a convenient roommate with benefits while she kept her options open. Fine. 2 can play this game. Wednesday morning, while Melissa was at work, I re-downloaded Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. Updated my profiles with recent photos, the ones from my cousin's wedding where I actually looked decent, wore a suit, smiled like I meant it. Within an hour, matches started rolling in, little notifications of interest that felt both validating and hollow. Then I saw her, Nenah, 26 years old, Melissa's younger sister. Now, context matters here. Nenah and I had always got along great. She was funnier than Melissa, more laid back, with this easy laugh that made everything feel lighter. We had more in common, too. She was into gaming, loved the same shows I did, and didn't take herself too seriously. But she was my girlfriend's sister, so obviously boundaries existed. Or they did, until Melissa decided we weren't that serious. Nenah had super liked me on Bumble. I stared at the screen for a solid minute, my thumb hovering over her profile, my heart pounding with something between amusement and recklessness. Then I matched back. Her message came instantly. "Elmo Derek, what are you doing on here?" Same thing as your sister, apparently, keeping my options open. We're not that serious, according to her. Wait, what? Ask her about it. She thinks it's totally normal to stay on dating apps while living with someone. That's messed up. She told me you guys were practically engaged. News to me. Anyway, weird matching with you, should probably unmatch. Probably. A pause. Unless? Kidding, unless. We texted for 3 hours. She told me Melissa had been bragging to their family about how committed I was, how I was husband material, while apparently keeping her profile active the entire time. Nenah had actually thought it was weird her sister was on the apps, but assumed they were old profiles she'd forgotten about. Nenah, Sunday dinner is going to be interesting. Sunday dinner? Family dinner at my parents'. Mel didn't tell you? She confirmed yesterday we're both coming. I hadn't been told anything about Sunday dinner. Interesting. Nenah, you should still come. Would be hilarious. That would be chaos. Exactly. Thursday, Melissa acted completely normal, even extra affectionate, like she was compensating for something she couldn't name. Made my favorite dinner, suggested we watch a movie together, curled up against me on the couch. Never mentioned Sunday dinner. I played along, waiting, watching. Friday afternoon, she finally brought it up, casual as anything. "Oh, by the way, dinner at my parents' Sunday, 6 o'clock, wear something nice." "Sure," I said, not looking up from my phone. Looking forward to it. Saturday, Nenah texted. "We still on for tomorrow's chaos?" "Your sister has no idea what's coming." Good, she had this coming. "BTW, I'm wearing that red dress you complimented at Christmas." The game was on. Sunday arrived faster than I expected, like time was eager to see how this would play out. Melissa spent 2 hours getting ready, constantly asking if she looked good, turning in front of the mirror. I told her she did. She was wearing this designer dress I'd bought her for her birthday, $300 I'd never see again, but whatever. The drive to her parents' house was normal. She talked about work, complained about her boss, scrolled through her phone at red lights. I saw the Hinge notification pop up. She quickly swiped it away, thinking I didn't notice. I noticed everything now. We pulled up to the house at 5:45. Nenah's car was already there, parked in the driveway like a promise. Melissa's mom, Gloria, greeted us at the door with huge hugs that smelled like vanilla and warmth. Her dad, Frank, shook my hand with his usual too-firm grip handshake. The kind that says, "I trust you with my daughter." "Derek, good to see you, son." "Son, right." Nenah was in the living room, and damn, she wasn't lying about the red dress. She looked incredible, confident in a way that made the room feel smaller. She gave me a hug that lasted just a second too long, her perfume definitely different from what I remembered, something lighter, more honest. "Derek, so good to see you," she said with a smile that promised chaos. "How have you been?" "Oh, just keeping my options open," I said casually. Melissa shot me a look but laughed it off. "Derek's been weird lately, midlife crisis at 31. We sat down for dinner. Gloria had made her famous lasagna, the kind with layers that take hours. Frank opened a bottle of wine, poured generously. Everything seemed normal, comfortable, safe, until Nenah cleared her throat. "So, Mel, I saw something super weird on Thursday." "Oh?" Melissa took a sip of wine, unbothered. "You were on Bumble. Your profile popped up in my feed." The table went silent. You could hear the clock ticking in the hallway, someone's fork touching porcelain. Melissa's face flushed pink, then red. Gloria looked confused, her smile fading. "Bumble? Isn't that a dating app?" "It is," Nenah said innocently, like she was discussing the weather. "Weird, right? Since Mel's been with Derek for what, almost 2 years?" Melissa laughed nervously, that high-pitched sound people make when they're cornered. "That must be an old profile. You know how those apps are. They keep your profile up forever." "No," Nenah said, pulling out her phone with deliberate slowness. "It said, 'active today,' see?" She showed the screen to the table, tilting it so everyone could see. There was Melissa's profile, complete with photos from last month's vacation, the one I'd paid for, the beach sunset shots where she looked happy and free. Frank's expression darkened, his jaw tightening. "Melissa, what is this?" "It's nothing. I never deleted it. It doesn't mean anything." I stayed quiet, cutting my lasagna, letting the moment breathe. Gloria turned to me, her eyes searching. "Derek, did you know about this?" "Found out Tuesday," I said calmly, meeting her gaze. "She told me we're not that serious, and it's normal to keep dating apps while living together." The table exploded. Not literally, but it felt like it might. "Not that serious?" Gloria's voice hit a pitch I didn't know was possible, somewhere between shock and fury. "You're living together." Frank slammed his wine glass down, the sound sharp and final. "Melissa Ann, what is wrong with you? You're all overreacting," Melissa protested, looking around for support that wasn't coming. "It's 2024. People don't delete apps just because they're in committed relationships." Nenah interjected, her voice sweet as poison. "Actually, they do. Normal people do." Melissa glared at her sister, her eyes narrowing. "Why are you being such a—" Nenah interrupted, grinning like she'd been waiting her whole life for this moment. "Derek and I matched on Bumble Thursday." If the table exploded before, this was nuclear detonation. Melissa's face went from red to white to purple, cycling through colors like a broken traffic light. "What? Yeah? Super weird?" Nenah continued, leaning back in her chair. "But since you two aren't that serious, I figured it was fine. Right, Derek?" I shrugged, taking another bite of lasagna. Just keeping my options open, like Melissa taught me. Melissa stood up so fast her chair fell backwards, clattering against the hardwood. "You matched with my sister?" "Technically, she super liked me first," I said, keeping my voice even. Gloria was looking between all of us like she was watching a tennis match in hell, her head turning back and forth. Frank had his head in his hands, shoulders slumped. "How dare you!" Melissa screamed at me, her voice cracking. How dare I what? Follow your rules? You said we weren't that serious. You said keeping dating apps was normal. I'm just doing what you're doing. That's different. How? It just is. Nenah laughed, short and sharp. Classic Mel. Rules for thee, not for me. Shut up, Nenah. This is between me and Derek. Actually, Frank said quietly, and everyone turned to look at him. His voice was low, controlled, the kind of quiet that's more powerful than shouting. This is between Melissa and her complete lack of respect for relationships. Derek, I'm sorry you've wasted 18 months on my daughter. Dad! Melissa shrieked, genuine shock in her voice. No, I'm done, Frank continued, looking up at her with disappointment etched in every line of his face. We raised you better than this. This young man has been nothing but good to you. He helps with your rent. He bought you that damn purse you wouldn't shut up about. He fixed your car last month. And you're on dating apps, shopping around while keeping him as backup? Gloria nodded, her expression hardening. Melissa, this is disgusting behavior. I'm ashamed. Melissa started crying, not pretty tears but ugly mascara-running sobs that shook her shoulders. So you're all taking his side? There aren't sides, Gloria said softly. There's just you being horrible to someone who loved you. Loved. Past tense. Even Gloria got it. Melissa grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door, her heels clicking violently against the floor. Derek, we're leaving. Now. I took another bite of lasagna, letting the moment stretch. This is really good, Gloria. Derek, I'm not leaving. You drove me here. And we're not that serious, remember? Figure it out. You can call an Uber. She stood there, mouth open, looking around the table for support that would never come. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Finally, she screamed, actually screamed like a wounded animal, and stormed out. We heard her outside on the phone, her voice shrill and desperate, presumably calling for a ride. Nenah broke the silence, pulling out her phone with exaggerated casualness. So, anyone want to see our Bumble conversation? It's actually hilarious. Gloria poured herself more wine, her hand shaking slightly. Nenah, not now. Frank looked at me, really looked at me, and I saw something like respect mixed with sadness. Derek, I'm sorry about all of this. It's fine. Better to know now than after a ring. Were you really going to? Gloria asked softly, trailing off like she was afraid of the answer. I pulled out my phone and showed them the ring I'd bookmarked. A simple diamond solitaire. Classic and elegant. Nothing crazy, but it would have cost me 3 months of savings. 3 months of planning a future that didn't exist. Was going to start shopping next month. Nenah whistled low. Bullet dodged, my friend. We finished dinner in relative peace, the tension gradually dissolving into something almost comfortable. Melissa apparently got her Uber and left. I helped clean up, scraping plates and loading the dishwasher like this was normal, like I hadn't just blown up my relationship at Sunday dinner. Had another glass of wine with Frank, talked about football. Even played cards with Nenah and Gloria for a bit, learning the family game they'd played for years. It was weird, surreal even, but somehow less weird than pretending everything was fine. As I was leaving, Nenah walked me to my car. The night air was cool, stars visible above the streetlights. So, that was fun, she said, hugging her arms against the chill. Fun's one word for it. She bit her lip, hesitating. Derek, I know this is messy, but I really did always think you were too good for her. Nenah? I know. Too soon, too weird. She handed me a piece of paper, folded small. But maybe in a few months, when the dust settles, we could get coffee. As friends first, obviously. I looked at the paper, then at her. She was everything Melissa wasn't. Genuine, funny, actually interested in who I was as a person instead of what I could buy her. Maybe, I said. Let me deal with the aftermath first. She smiled, and it reached her eyes. Fair. Sorry about my sister being, well, herself. You super liked me before you knew about the dating app thing. She blushed, actually blushed. Temporary insanity. You were supposed to swipe left like a good boyfriend. Good thing I'm not that serious of a boyfriend, apparently. We both laughed, and it felt good, honest and clean in a way nothing had felt in months. I got home around 10 that night. Melissa's stuff was everywhere. Her magazines on the coffee table, her jacket on the couch, her presence still haunting the space. But she wasn't there. Good. I grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat in the dark, thinking about next steps, about how quickly everything could change. Monday morning, 6 a.m., she came home. Still in the same dress, makeup destroyed, looking like she'd been crying all night. Probably had been. We need to talk, she said, her voice hoarse. No, we don't. You need to find a new place to live. Derek, please, I made a mistake. No, you made a choice. For 18 months, apparently. She started crying again, fresh tears cutting through yesterday's mascara. It didn't mean anything. I never met anyone. But you were looking. While I was planning a future with you, you were keeping your options open. Everyone does it. Your parents don't think so, your sister doesn't think so, I don't think so. Nenah's just jealous. She's always been jealous of me. I laughed, actually laughed at the absurdity. Jealous of what? Your inability to commit? Your entitlement? Your complete lack of respect for others? How dare you match with her? The same way you dared to stay on 3 different dating apps while living with me. Except I did it for 3 days. You did it for our entire relationship. She tried a different approach, softening her expression, moving closer. Put her hand on my chest, that familiar touch that used to mean something. Baby, we can work through this. Couples counseling. I'll delete the apps right now. See? She pulled out her phone, making a show of deleting them one by one, the apps disappearing from her screen like they'd never existed. Too late, Mel. Way too late. You're really throwing away everything we built for one mistake? We didn't build anything. I built a relationship while you kept a foot out the door, and it wasn't one mistake. It was 547 days of choosing to keep those apps. That's 547 daily decisions to disrespect our relationship. She stopped, staring at me. You counted? I did the math, yeah. She got angry again, the tears drying up instantly. Fine, you want me out? I'm taking everything I bought. Take it all. I don't want anything with your energy on it. She started grabbing random stuff, claiming she'd bought things I knew I'd purchased. The coffee maker, the throw pillows, the framed print in the hallway. I didn't argue, just wanted her gone. Wanted the space to breathe without her in it. What about rent? I paid half. You paid a third, actually. I have the Venmo receipts, but sure, I'll give you the week back. I transferred her $400 while she watched. There, we're square. That's it? After everything? What everything? We weren't that serious, remember? She screamed again and threw a coffee mug at the wall. It shattered, ceramic shards exploding across the floor like tiny white stars. You'll pay for that too, I said calmly. $30 for the mug, $50 for the security deposit hit. I hate you. Cool, hate me from somewhere else. The real meltdown came Tuesday, when she realized I'd already told our mutual friends what happened. See, while she was having her Monday morning tantrum, I'd sent a group text with screenshots. Her dating profile's still active. Her "we're not that serious" quotes preserved in text. a preemptive strike against whatever narrative she was planning to spin. My phone blew up with messages. Dude, 18 months? That's cold. She was on apps the whole time? Team Derek, that's messed up. Her best friend Kayla even texted me privately. I told her to delete those apps months ago. She said she had. I'm sorry, Derek. By Tuesday afternoon, Melissa was in full damage control mode. Posted on social media about toxic relationships and controlling men who spy on their girlfriends, painting herself as the victim with carefully chosen words and strategic hashtags. Nobody bought it, especially after Nenah commented, "Sis, you literally showed me your Hinge matches last month talking about your backup plans. Stop lying." The comments section turned into a bloodbath. Their cousins, mutual friends, even her co-worker added their perspectives, each comment peeling back another layer of her carefully constructed narrative. Turns out I wasn't the only one who'd noticed her sketchy behavior. Wednesday, she tried getting her stuff while I was at work. Building management called me. "Mr. Rodriguez, Melissa is here saying she needs to get into your apartment. She's not on the lease and no longer lives here. Do not let her in." "Understood, Mr. Chen." She called me 23 times in an hour. Left voicemails ranging from apologetic to threatening, her voice cycling through every emotion like she was trying different keys in a lock. My favorite was, "You're going to regret this when you're alone forever. No one will ever love you like I did." I texted back, "You're right. No one will ever love me like you did. Thank God for that." Thursday morning, the circus really began. I woke up to 14 missed calls from an unknown number. Melissa's new number, apparently, since I'd blocked her old one. Then came the knock on my door at 7 a.m. Not Melissa, her mom, Gloria. "Derek, I'm so sorry to bother you, but can we talk?" I let her in, made coffee while she settled on the couch, looking exhausted and older than I remembered. "Melissa is staying with us," she said carefully, "and she's not handling this well." Define not well. She's convinced you and Nenah are secretly together. She's talking about suing you for emotional distress. She wants half of everything in the apartment. She can want all she likes. She's not on the lease. She didn't buy the furniture, and emotional distress, she cheated, not me. Gloria sighed, the sound heavy with resignation. "I know. Frank and I know. But she's our daughter, and she's having some kind of breakdown. She quit her job yesterday." "She what?" "Said she couldn't focus because of the trauma." "Derek, I'm not here to defend her. What she did was wrong. But did you have to match with Nenah?" "Gloria, I matched with Nenah to make a point. Your daughter spent 18 months on dating apps while I was planning to propose. She needed to understand how that felt. And Sunday dinner, that was Nenah's idea, actually." Gloria rubbed her temples. "That girl, both my girls, I don't know where I went wrong." "You didn't. Melissa made her choices. Can you at least let her get her things? She can come Saturday between 2 and 4 p.m. You or Frank need to be with her. She's not coming alone." Gloria nodded and left. Her shoulders slumped with the weight of her daughter's choices. An hour later, I got a text from Nenah. "Mom just told Mel she has to be supervised to get her stuff." The screaming is epic. Friday was quiet, too quiet. I should have known something was coming, that the silence was just the breath before the storm. Saturday at 2 p.m., sharp, they arrived. Melissa, Gloria, Frank, and surprisingly Melissa's older brother Tony, who I'd only met twice at family gatherings. Tony approached me first, his expression apologetic. "Hey man, sorry about all this. I'm just here to make sure things stay calm." I appreciated that. Tony always seemed like a solid dude, the kind of older brother who tried to keep the peace. Melissa wouldn't even look at me. her eyes fixed on the floor like I'd ceased to exist. She started packing her things while Gloria helped, both of them moving in tense silence. Frank stood awkwardly by the door, hands in his pockets. Everything was going smoothly until she got to the bedroom and saw something, or didn't see something, that set her off. "Where's my necklace?" "What necklace?" "The gold one, the one my grandmother gave me." "Melissa, you never kept jewelry here. You always left it at your parents' house." "You stole it. You sold it out of spite." "I didn't touch any necklace." She started tearing through drawers, throwing things around, pulling out clothes and dumping them on the floor. Tony stepped in, firm but gentle. "Mel, chill. If it's not here, it's not here. He has it, or he gave it to Nenah. Are you two together now, huh?" "No, Melissa. Nenah and I aren't together." "Liar, she liked your Instagram post yesterday." "So did 47 other people. Are they all dating me too?" She lunged at me. Actually lunged, hands reaching like claws. Tony caught her midair like she weighed nothing, his arms wrapping around her waist. "Okay, we're done here," Tony said, literally carrying his sister toward the door like she was a child having a tantrum. "Mom, Dad, grab her stuff." Melissa was screaming, thrashing in his arms. "I'll destroy you. You'll never be happy. Nenah's using you. She's always wanted what I have." "What you had," I corrected. "Past tense?" That made her scream louder, the sound echoing down the hallway. Tony just shook his head and carried her out. Frank muttered an apology I barely heard. Gloria couldn't meet my eyes, and they left with maybe half of Melissa's actual stuff, because she'd been too busy having a meltdown to pack properly. 10 minutes after they left, Nenah texted, "She just accused me of stealing Grandma's necklace, the one she sold 2 months ago for concert tickets. This is insane." "She sold it?" "Yeah, told me not to tell Mom. Sold it on Poshmark for like $200. I have screenshots." Nenah sent the screenshots. Melissa's Poshmark listing from August, the necklace photographed on a white background, the description bragging about getting tickets to some music festival. I forwarded them to Gloria with a message. "In case she tries to file a police report." Gloria replied immediately, "I'm so sorry. We're getting her help." Sunday came with another plot twist. Melissa made a TikTok, a whole dramatic TikTok about how my ex destroyed my life because I wanted independence. It got 50,000 views in 3 hours. Comments flooding in before the algorithm really picked it up. But the comments were brutal. "Independence equals cheating. Now? Girl, you were on dating apps while living with him. This is why I have trust issues. Nenah, tell your side." Yeah, Nenah was in the comments with receipts, screenshots of Melissa's messages about her backup plans, the Poshmark listing for the necklace, even texts where Melissa admitted she was just with Derek until something better came along. The TikTok got deleted within hours, but the internet is forever. Someone screen recorded it, and it ended up on Twitter with the caption, "Tell me you're delusional without telling me you're delusional." It's been 3 months since the Sunday dinner incident. Time for the final chapter on this absolute dumpster fire of a relationship. The immediate aftermath of TikTok Gate was rough for Melissa. Turns out going viral as the poster child for delusional girlfriend behavior isn't great for your career prospects. The job she quit wouldn't take her back. Her new job search wasn't going well either. Apparently, employers Google people, and her name was attached to some pretty unflattering content that dominated the first page of results. She tried reinventing herself online as a healing coach and relationship expert, posting about toxic relationships and narcissistic exes with carefully filtered selfies. Until Nenah kept commenting with receipts, fact-checking every post with screenshots. Eventually, Melissa blocked her entire family on social media, cutting them off completely. According to Tony, we grab beers sometimes now, weird how that worked out. Melissa moved to another state to start fresh. Lives with some aunt who doesn't know the full story, probably hearing a very edited version. Still single, still on the apps, still convinced she did nothing wrong. Gloria and Frank took it hard. They sent me a card apologizing again, their handwriting shaky with emotion, and a check for the broken mug, which I didn't cash. They're good people who just raised one broken person out of 3 decent kids. Sometimes it happens that way. As for Nenah and me, yeah, we're together now. Before you judge, hear me out. We waited 2 months. 2 full months of just texting as friends, grabbing coffee in daylight, being normal humans, getting to know each other without Melissa's shadow hanging over everything. She was nothing like her sister, honest, funny, actually deleted her dating apps after our 3rd date without me even asking. Just did it and told me later, casual as anything. The family dynamics are weird, not going to lie. Gloria and Frank are supportive but awkward, navigating the strange territory of dating your ex's sister. Tony thinks it's hilarious and calls us the upgrade, which makes Nenah laugh every time. Melissa found out last month through a cousin's Instagram story, some group photo where Nenah and I were obviously together. She sent Nenah a novel-length text about betrayal and sister code, every grievance she'd been storing for months. Nenah responded simply, "The sister code includes not lying about your boyfriend of 18 months being just a roommate. When I asked if I could date him after you broke up, you said, and I quote, 'I don't care. He's nobody special.' So, I took your advice." Melissa blocked her again. We're taking things slow. No moving in together anytime soon, both of us maintaining our own spaces and independence. We joke that Melissa actually did us a favor. I never would have seen Nenah as an option if her sister hadn't nuked our relationship so spectacularly, blown it up so completely that the debris revealed something better underneath. My trust issues are real, though. I check dating apps randomly sometimes, just to make sure. Nenah knows, doesn't take it personally, shows me her phone whenever I'm feeling anxious, unlocks it, and hands it over without hesitation. She gets it. She saw what her sister put me through, witnessed the whole disaster. The best revenge? I'm genuinely happy. Not pretend Instagram happy with filtered photos and fake smiles, but actually content. Found someone who thinks deleting dating apps after becoming exclusive is just basic respect. Wild concept, right? Melissa, if you're reading this, and I know you are, because Nenah says you still search my name weekly, obsessively checking for updates, I want to thank you. Thank you for showing me exactly what I don't want in a partner. Thank you for the 18-month masterclass in red flags. And thank you for being so awful that your sister looked like an angel in comparison. Oh, and that ring I was going to buy. I put that money into index funds instead, already up 12%. Better ROI than a failed engagement. To everyone who followed this saga, thanks for the support. The messages calling me king were cringe, but appreciated in a weird way. The ones calling me an asshole for dating Nenah, yeah, fair, it's messy. But sometimes messy leads to something better, something real. Gloria makes lasagna for us once a month now. Frank taught me his secret poker moves, the ones he saves for serious games. Tony and I are in a fantasy football league. And Nenah deletes her social media apps when we're on dates so she's actually present, actually there with me in the moment. Turns out the best revenge isn't elaborate or calculated. It's just living better without them, building something genuine from the ashes of something fake. Peace out. P.S. Melissa's Hinge profile is still active. Some things never change.